Welcome in, everyone, to the Coach Dan Moore Show right here, courtesy of OhioBobcatsHockey.com. I'm Justin Sampson, joined alongside the hen man himself, Coach Morris, up here in the mezzanine at Bird Arena after yet another practice, and I see Movember is out in full force.
That's right. I'm been challenged by my staff here at the rink and fellow campus rec employees, and my wife's not too happy with it, but I might be able to make it to the 15th, maybe.
Not a fan of the facial hair?
No, my kids aren't either because it hurts their face when Dad nuzzles with them. So we'll see. I got to get it past that stage of where it's prickly and into curly.
All right. Well, back to on the ice. You guys are coming off a very successful weekend where you took care of business against Ohio State. Double-digit goal totals in both contests, and we talked a little bit about it after in the post-game interview. Would you call this a very complete effort from the offensive side of things this past weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you don't want to see the score get out of hand. You want competitive games, and you know, our guys, we didn't have a full lineup, and good or bad, but that means, you know, if we had a line like Pillmore's line, they get more ice time, and sometimes they're hard to stop, and that's, I think, what you saw this weekend.
Able to let Brendan Madden pick up yet another win there in goal, and as he starts to rack up these wins and get a little more experience in there, I mean, at this point of the season, you're about to end the fall. How far has he come in your eyes?
He's come a long way. I think you know, we've got a plan in place for him. We want him to, you know, gain confidence through success, and you know, early in the year we worked on some of his mechanics, and we're still continuing to work on his mechanics, and we didn't want, you know, unsuccessful trips out there to take over, and I think early in the year we pulled him out of a game, and that was our explanation to him, was we want to put him in situations where he can succeed, and if it's a mechanical thing, that's tough to fix in the middle of a game. If it's a, you know, mindset or preparation thing, then we can work on that. So we've had the opportunity to put him out in a few games, and his biggest challenge obviously was the Oakland game last weekend, 2 weekends ago when we were up in Oakland, but you know, Teddy played 2 tough games back to back, and then a quick turnaround on Sunday afternoon. We had planned to go in there using Brandon on Sunday, and he played a great game. There was one particular point in the game. It was a 2-2 hockey game. He makes an unbelievable save, and we turn around and come back, and Agnew scores the winner. Like you know, you see it all the time in hockey. You know, like great save on one end, coming back, and the game-winning goal on the other. But he really saved the game for us, and I think that helped him. And the guys rallied around him. They want to see him succeed as well.
So outside of goal, at this point in the season, you guys are pretty banged up. It's been one of the storylines around you guys all year. How big, and I know I asked you this after the game as well, how big was this last weekend in the way that you won big, just kind of a weekend to get better and heal?
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, you got to use as many guys. We got down Saturday night after Alex DeMassa went back down. We were at 16 players, and we don't have any options. That's all we have. And you know, I think Xander Dover will be available this weekend. I think Craig Meyerhoff will be available, and hopefully Jake Holzman will be available, which will help us out. But I can't express enough the play of, when you look at it, you know, from Duncan Green and the 4 freshman defensemen, you know, just playing unbelievable. And you look at Duncan, who maybe averaged 3 minutes of ice time last season. His job was to sit on the bench and learn. You know, now we're asking him to do things that we normally wouldn't be asking Duncan to do. And he's really stepped up. And you look at, you know, from Mike Kretz to Jake Warner to, you know, to Craig Meyerhoff playing, and Ross Pillmore. So, you know, these are guys that we expected to treat like Duncan last year, like maybe 3 or 4 minutes a game, that are playing, you know, upwards of 15 to 20 minutes a game, and we're winning hockey games. So that's all you can ask from that group.
So you have that young group. Now, as we approach winter break, you guys only have a handful of games left before you hit that winter break.
Yeah.
Go back on the road this weekend to Indiana. So now that you're beginning to heal a little more, and with these guys getting that experience, what exactly do you need to think? Do you think you need to do a little better to go in there against Indiana and take 2 games once again?
I mean, it's just numbers right now. I mean, watching us play with the short numbers, you know, gets me thinking about, you know, these guys can handle, you know, running a 3-line system versus a 4-line system, and you know, they're in pretty good shape and they play well. So, you know, that plays in the back of my mind that even when we get bodies back, you know, does Schultz need to play 20 minutes a game versus 15? Is it an advantage to us? And he seems to be thriving offensively with the shortened lineup. So he sees more ice time and he's killing penalties now too. So, you know, so as a coach, you look into that, you know, but you want to use your full complement of players in games to go to battle with. So there'll be a lot of, hopefully it generates a lot of competition in practice to make those spots and to be out there. But, you know, for guys that don't have any competition and know they're going to be in the lineup, we're playing, you know, pretty well. The guys aren't laying off at all. So as a coach, yeah, it's tough being in a game that's so lopsided and you want to pull the reins back on the other side of the coin. You're watching it going, you know what, you know, I don't want to go down this road if, you know, these guys are still competing and they know that there's nobody there to compete for their spot. So you just kind of let them run with it.
Best of luck to you guys once again this weekend when you hit
Thank
the
you.
road in Indiana. Be sure, as always, to check out OhioBobcatsHockey.com for updates, previews, and more all the way leading up through the weekend and up until winter break. So, until then, Coach Morris, as always, I'm Justin Sampson up here from Bird Arena. This is Ohio Bobcats Hockey.